evening and welcome to the October 15th, 2025 meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom video conference and is also being broadcast by FCTV on cable channel 9. As this meeting is being recorded by Zoom and broadcast by FCTV, please be cognizant of what you say, how you say it, and what can be seen and heard in your background. We have a full complement of commissioners tonight. Thank you all for your dedication. I'd like to remind the commissioners that for commenting, I will call on each of you in turn. So please refrain from speaking over each other. Also, all votes are done by roll. So when I call your name, please state your name and your vote for the record, even if you have made the motion or second. To our public attendees, at any time during this meeting, you may enter any comment or question via the chat function. At the appropriate time, they will be read into the record. If an attendee would like to participate in a particular hearing, let us know via the chat function. Then at the appropriate time, you will be promoted into the hearing as a participant. When you are selected, you must have your video enabled and be succinct and respectful of others. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. Regarding RDAs, under a request for determination of applicability, the applicant is asking the commission to determine if the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and/or the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw apply to their proposed project. A negative determination is that the provision of the act and/or the bylaw do not apply. Therefore, the project may proceed as proposed. A positive determination means the provisions of the act and/or bylaw do in fact apply and/or may require some conditions. Therefore, the project would require a notice of intent application. So as an applicant, you want to hear a negative determination. For the benefit of anyone waiting for a particular hearing tonight, and so that you are not waiting unnecessarily, the following hearings are expected to be continued. 58 Westwood Road LLC and 545 Courier Road. Also 133 Fay Road. Those three are being continued. All right. So the first item on the agenda this evening is to naming proposal for the Little Pond Conservation Area. Alyssa.
Yes, so this was a continued discussion from last week. We had a presentation from the 300 committee in which they are seeking support from the commission to rename the Little Pond Conservation Area in honor of Mark Kasperzik, who will be retiring from our department after 27 years very soon. And though there is a process with the select board where they have to wait a full year after an individual has retired or whatnot, they were looking for support from this commission to just start that process. We did have some discussion. A continuance was requested for some additional research. And I'm not sure if anyone has anything they would like to add at this time.
Steve, did you have anything you'd like to add?
I do. I held it last week, partially for an electronic. I missed part of the presentation, I believe, but the supplemental information that was provided to us prior to this meeting was impressive and Catholic. Everybody was involved in it. So I strongly support the naming of the Little Pond Park in Mark's honor. And I apologize for holding it up. It should have just been an automatic.
Not a problem. Anybody else with comments or questions about this? So basically what we're looking for is a motion to support this proposal by the 300 committee. So if I could get that motion in a second, we could move this along.
Bird so move.
Driscoll second.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Ron. No other comments or questions. I will call the roll to support the naming of the Little Pond Park there. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. Okay, so unanimous to support the proposal of the naming. All right. Next on the agenda, there's a request for a continuance under notice of intent. Robert and Cara Martin, trustees, 58 Westwood Road, LLC, 58 Westwood Road, North Falmouth, Mass, for permission to conduct invasive species removal and install restoration plantings. Alyssa.
Yes, the applicant has requested a continuance until November 5th.
Bird so move.
Driscoll, second.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous, and that is continued till November 5th. Next up is request for determination of applicability. Lucy C. Greer, trustee, LCG Realty Trust, 77 Barnack Road, West Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct an existing wooden boardwalks. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird so move.
Driscoll, second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendations. Any other comments or questions from the members? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
Billy,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to accept staff's recommendations. Next is Andrew White, 1 Fells Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to vista prune according to FWR 10.18 10B. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird so move.
Driscoll, second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous to accept staff's recommendations for the RDA. Next up is Robert Jaget, 206 Waterside Drive, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct an existing deck and to construct a storage area. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in a flood zone.
Bird so move.
Driscoll, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendations on 206 Waterside Drive. Any other comments, questions by the commission? Okay, hearing none, I will call the roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Pat and I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It is unanimous. All right. Next up, okay, continued request for determination of applicability. Richard A. and Kylie A. Seeley, trustees, Seeley Realty Trust, 39 Old Homestead Road, West Falmouth, Mass, for permission to enlarge an existing deck add gravel for drainage, and install mitigation plantings. Alyssa, Fallon, I think that's you, Fallon, isn't it?
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept staff's recommendation on continued request. Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ronnie,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
thank you. David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, so it's unanimous to accept staff's recommendation. All right, continued request for a hearing under a notice of intent. All hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. And first up is, that's 58 Westwood. That's already been a request for a continuance, so that's going to the 9th, November 5th, I mean. We'll move on to the next one. Rudolph Vandershoot, 545 Courier Road, Falmouth, for permission to conduct tree removal and minor grading, install a rain garden, and construct a raised terrace. Alyssa.
The applicant is requesting a continuance until November 5th.
Bird, so move.
Driscoll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to continue. Any other comments or questions by the board? Hearing none, I will call for I'll call the roll. Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. It's unanimous, and that is continued. You said to the 5th, Alyssa. Thank you. All right, next is William Brandon, 142 Pinecrest Beach Drive, Hatchville, Mass, for permission to remove an unpermitted gravel driveway, install a shed, install a gravel walkway after the fact, and install mitigation and restoration plantings. Alyssa.
Thank you. I've promoted Tyler Goudreau with Environmental Landscape Solutions to present his project. Hi, Tyler.
Good evening. Good evening, commissioners. For the record, Tyler Goudreau, Environmental Landscape Solutions, representing the applicant William Brandon for the proposed gravel after the fact and proposed shed within a buffer zone. I'm going to share my screen and show the plan. So just, if everyone can see the plan.
Yep, you're all set, Tyler.
Great. Just a little background. The homeowners purchased the property. There was an RDA that was submitted. There was some work done to the house during construction. There was a gravel driveway that was installed. Since then, the gravel has been removed. This application is to just permit roughly 229 square feet down by the water, where there was a current path to water or a previous path to water, as well as a 120 square foot shed. This shed is predominantly in the zone B with a small portion in zone A. We selected this because there was some smaller vegetation on site. We wanted to get it as far out of the zone A as possible without disturbing any vegetation. The only vegetation that will be removed is a lawn area. In place of the existing gravel drive, we're proposing some native shrubs, but in order to mitigate for the 229 square feet of gravel, we have some lawn area that's coming out. And we actually there's a little bit of open vegetation in this area closest to the inland bank. So this project is just to kind of wrap this up. We already started some of the removal process. If we can get the plantings in this fall, we'll get the project in compliance and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, Tyler, if you could stop sharing the screen.
Yes.
Alyssa.
Thank you. I don't really have much to add other than a thank you for Tyler for helping us wrap up this project and eliminate some of the violations out there. And all of our previous questions have been answered, so I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, did you have anything?
I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
All right, let's, Steve, why don't you start us off tonight?
Oh, great. This should be an easy one. It looks like they worked everything out. Congratulations to everybody.
All
That's
right.
it.
Thanks. Ron.
Yeah, I second Steve. It looks great. And one thing, if you go across the street, there's all those nice pears hanging on the fruit trees. If the guy's out there picking them, they'll give you a couple.
Nice.
All set,
Right.
thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
All set. Well done.
David,
All set.
Bill,
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Courtney.
No questions.
All right, looks pretty good. What's your pleasure? Somebody want to make a
Close.
motion?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
We have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Anything in chat, Alyssa?
Nothing in the chat and no hands raised.
Any other comments or questions by the commission? Okay, don't see anything. All right, so I'm going to call a roll to close this hearing. Take it under advisement. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
Patton, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent eye.
and Bill.
Duffy, aye.
Robbins and I, that's unanimous to close this hearing, take it under advisement. All right.
Awesome.
up-
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Tyler.
Good time.
Thanks, Tyler.
Next up is a request to amend an existing order of conditions, 402 Wild Harbor Road, Falmouth, Mass. Request to amend the order of conditions for Mass DEP number 25-5043 for permission to install restoration plantings and install an irrigation well. Alyssa.
Yes, I promoted Mike Borselli and Elaine Johnson to present their project.
Thank you. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Elaine.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, representing the applicant. With your permission, I'd like to share my screen. And I'm sharing. This is a request to amend an order of conditions that was issued in the not too distant past to reconstruct an existing seawall that I'm tracing with the hand on the computer here. That was the primary activity that we applied for, and you issued an order of conditions. It included the need for a construction access, removal of some vegetation, and then restoration of that vegetation after. As part of the removal of the vegetation, a contractor removed more invasive plantings than were on the approved plan. I've shown in tan on this plan invasive vegetation that was removed that was not part of the original plan that you approved. I also show in green an area that was restored as part of that order of conditions that you issued for the wall. And there's some green over here that was some proposed planting as well. Your staff discovered this removal of invasives that was beyond what was approved and contacted the property owner, and it got to me and Elaine Johnson, and we met on site with your staff, and we have now submitted a request to amend the order to restore this area that had invasive removal back with natives that are outlined on the landscape plan that Elaine Johnson prepared, which is I can show you if, and Elaine can describe if you'd like. Part of this process, and we went over this with your staff, and I think I should zoom in a little bit more. There's an uprooted pine tree that we thought should be removed, and your staff agreed, and there's a dead pine tree that we wanted to remove that is also, I believe, also your staff was okay with. As part of the application as well, we're proposing an irrigation well to be installed, and that is shown up here at the top of the page, right off the edge of a parking area. It's in a little grassy spot. The existing irrigation system can be retrofitted to have the water source be the well instead of town water. There was a staff report for the amendment. One of the comments was to show the well. Alyssa, hopefully you just missed it, but I'm showing where it is on the plan at the very top. Yep, okay, good. And then there's some comments about planting in the beach area that I'm not clear on, but I think could be worked out with your staff and Elaine Johnson. I'm hoping that you can, if everything's acceptable, close the hearing and issue an amendment and let us work out whatever these comments are that I'm not really clear on. And finally, there's one other comment in the staff report on the second page where there's photos. And there's a request to update the survey to reflect some other clearing, I guess, that I was unaware of, that I can certainly do. I can get clarification from Melissa on that. And that, of course, would be restored as well. So I think that sums it up. I think that the staff comments are relatively minor. I'm hoping that you can vote to close and allow us to work these matters out with your staff. I'm gonna, if necessary, I defer to you. I'm gonna show the landscape plan and turn it over to Elaine if she's wanting to talk about it at all.
Am I? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're not seeing my face, but that's okay. That's fine with me. Good evening. Yes, well, as Mike explained, we had an excess of about 1,400 square feet that was cleared. And in order to restore that area, which is basically invasives, with the exception of we took down no trees in that area during that clearing. We are planting 110 native plants, and they are listed, and the quantities thereof are listed on that plan under the shrubs, as you can see. We are adding 4 Amelanchier in that area, and the rest are shrubs, native shrubs, species only, which is basically a replication of the same plant material that will be planted later in the access to create the bulkhead that was approved. When was that? March last year? I'm not remember. So that was approved. So basically what I'm saying is we're using the same plant material with the exception of a couple of trees that will be in the other area that was approved. We also noted that we got permission verbally from Alyssa and Jennifer in January to clear some additional invasive honeysuckle vine that exceeded the exact area of the dog run, which is in green. And a little egg on my face, I added more plants, but some were not listed on the original plan. So we will remove the plants that were not on the original plan and substitute them with more of the same plants that were approved in the original hearing. I think, Alyssa, I'm explaining for you what we had talked about on site that day. And the same pertains to the beach area. The beach area was a result of an RDA 2014, I think, of a bayberry planting down where that bulkhead is being built, and it kept getting washed out. So we are taking that 300 square feet and planting it down on the border of a prior conservation planting. And that plan was submitted in the last hearing and approved. Any additional plant material that was substituted, once again, will be switched out to the plants that were indicated on the original plan. And I think that's it.
All right. Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Great. So we'll go back to Alyssa.
Yes, thank you. Mike, thanks for pointing out the location of the well. I wasn't even looking in that part of the plan, so
Yep, I
totally
had a
missed that. My comment about the plantings on the beach, we didn't really talk about that recently. Elaine, when we were on site with you, I didn't get a good look at them. So if there are those alternate species in there, if you can revegetate, that would be great. And my comment to Mike was, when the team is out there surveying, it might be worth surveying that area to see where its current planting location is, just to confirm that we are on point for square footage, and we don't find out at compliance that we're missing an area is unplanted and needs to be planted again. So I figured while you're out there, just to double check it.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, as I noted on the back, you do acknowledge in that tan section the major area of where the second unpermitted clearing occurred, but also pretty much in a circle around that dog run was additional clearing. Some of it's been revegetated, some of it hasn't. So just getting a more definitive square footage on the survey so we can help calculate the number of plants required would be ideal.
Okay.
Thank you. And Elaine, is it the intention to work on the plantings this fall?
Yes. Certainly not the area that is being used for the construction of the bulkhead, but we have I have ordered the plants, they're in. We're waiting for this board meeting, and then with the contractor, we'll schedule it in and get those plants in before the end of October for sure.
Perfect. Jen is currently on vacation, so I won't be able to get you your AOC by the end of October, but if we can get that revised plan, I can give you permission to do that planting.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. Fallon.
I've got nothing to add. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Fallon. Let's go to Ron.
Well, I have to, all those number of plants would be beyond my understanding, but my basic question is, how did you get 1,400, just go a little bit over the edge and get 1,400 square feet of invasives cleared and then notice it afterwards? That's all. That was my question. It's come up in other places before, and we seem to be a little more aggressive for the restoration, but I'm all set with what's going on. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ron. Ronnie.
Alyssa, you're good?
I'm good. As long as we can get it planted by the end of the fall, that's as good as we're going to get.
Let's put it to bed. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Ron, thank you. David.
I'm all set.
Bill.
Seems straightforward to me. I'm good.
Courtney.
No questions or comments.
And Steve.
Nothing to add. Thank you, sir.
All right. What's your pleasure? You want to go ahead and close this?
Yes.
I will make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
So we have a motion and a second to close this hearing and take it under advisement. Any comments in the chat, Alyssa?
Nothing in the chat and no hands raised.
Okay. No other comments or questions by the commission? Hearing none, I'm gonna call a roll to close this hearing, take it under advisement. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye, unanimous to close the hearing, take it under advisement.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Very good, guys.
Night, thank
Bye,
you.
Lynn.
All right, continued request to amend an existing order of conditions. Robert and Natalie Culligan, 133 Fay Road, Woods Hole, request to amend the order of conditions for Mass DEP number 25-4528 to permit increases in structure and driveway after the fact and install mitigation plantings. Alyssa.
The applicant has requested a continuance until November 5th.
Bird so move.
Driscoll, second.
All right, any other comments from the commission? All right, hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Bill,
Duffy, aye.
and Robbins is an aye. That's unanimous. Continued hearing until November 5th. All right, next up is vote, orders of condition. Yeah. First one up is Kelly Hike, 168 Cliffwood Lane in West Falmouth. Alyssa.
There we go. Yes, so this is a project to construct a second story over an existing garage, add a balcony, reconstruct the back deck by extending it a bit, and installing a rinse station and front porch. There was some unpermitted clearing that I had noticed through near map on the property, some of which has been restored with some large screening trees. At this point, we're not sure if they're native, so the staff recommends that if they're not, they should be replanted at least in the zone A. Additional shrub material is also proposed in terms of mitigation and restoration for that clearing. We did receive an updated site plan that amended the mitigation and restoration planting notes that I had in the staff report. Also, Courtney, we did receive a letter from a certified architect attesting that it can withhold the proposed weight.
Okay, and then when you say certified, AIA certified,
Yes,
okay,
that's what it said. Well,
okay. I'm good then.
he's a registered architect. He's an RA, not an AIA.
Okay, well,
Is that okay?
yeah,
Okay.
All right, you all set, Alyssa?
Yep, so we just need identification of those tree species and we're good.
Fallon.
Alyssa summed it up, and I've got nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Fallon. All right, comments or questions? Everybody good with this, or anyone want to add anything?
the thing I would perhaps put in the order of conditions is that if it turns out there's any kind of structural problems with that addition due to, on the foundation, there should be an amendment to the order issued before they do any work, because it would change the scope.
Yeah, they acknowledge that. We can add that.
As long as that's in the order, so they know.
Good deal. Anything from anyone else?
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to issue order condition. 168 Cliffwood Lane. Anyone else get anything? Okay, I'm gonna call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
And I.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
David,
Kent, aye.
Billy, Bill,
Duffy, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, so that is unanimous. We have issued order condition 168 Clifford Lane. Next up is Alan and Janet Sung, 188 Secret Road, Wacoit, Mass. Alyssa.
Yes, so this property currently has an unpermitted dock on their site. What they are proposing is to remove that, construct a staircase with a landing so that they can more easily have water access on the property. The staff had some concerns about the project that were briefly discussed last week. So what they're proposing, again, staircase with a landing, that does not meet DMF's requirements in terms of, what do they call it? Height to width ratio over the salt marsh. There was contention whether salt marsh even existed. It's the staff's position that it's there. It's just dead right now because of the unpermitted structure was on top of it, smothering it, not allowing it to grow. I asked the question last week to Jake, who was presenting. It really is the landing that's causing the confusion where they can't meet that height to width. It's just they would have to go up and then down, and it got a little crazy there. So it seems that if the landing was removed, the typical staircase would be able to meet the requirements. Just to remind the board, this is not a reconstruction. What's there is not permitted. So the staff is in favor of allowing construction that is conforming to the regulations and to DMF standards. They did acknowledge there's a time of year on here, so we'll have to add that to the order from January to May. They are in favor of using through flow decking, which is at 50% light penetration throughout the entirety of the dock structure, so that's good there. We'd like to have a pre-construction as we believe the homeowner will be conducting the work, so I want to make sure that there's a good understanding of what's to be done on the property. There was also a potential issue of boats being tied up to a future structure and almost acting like a dock. A dock has been denied on this property before, so we want to ensure that there is a provision in the order that a boat could be there for loading and unloading, but not for storage and not to be used as the dock. So the staff is wanting to see that in the order. Fallon, did I miss anything?
I think you got all of it, everything we talked about.
Yeah, main points. Okay. That's all I have then.
All right. So, I mean, basically, if they just removed the platform and the platform just went away, it would make this thing a lot better, I think. That's my first.
It seems that just having a staircase,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't have to meet that 1.5 to 1 because it's not a more substantial structure according to the state. And we do permit staircases all the time to reach water access. So it seems, that's why I tried to clarify last week, is it the landing that's causing the frustration? So that could be a way to still approve access and meet all the criteria.
Or we would be approving the stairs, but not the landing.
Yeah.
That's the essence of it.
Yeah. Yep.
If that's how the board feels.
On that basis of explanation, I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed, with the removal of the landing being part of the order.
And the through flow, and also the limitation that, you know, they could tie a boat up, but I don't know how you're going to word that though.
I've seen it done before. I can't tell you an example off the top of my head, but for example, the commission has allowed what looks like a pier without a float at the end. It's just called a walkway. And there's a provision I see in those where it says this is not a dock, boats are not to be tied up for extended amounts of time type of thing. I know the language exists. I don't know it off the top of my head. Is it enforceable? But just to clarify going forward, I mean, if you're just approving the staircase, maybe we don't need to do that because there's no landing, so it's not dock-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll second the motion from Courtney.
Personally, would still like to see something in there just to reference that. That's, and it would be, if you tied up to the stairway for an extended period of time, something along that.
There's,
Right.
there's no water. There's no water depth there to get any side of a boat anywhere
Yeah.
near.
Put stuff out, a line around your stringer. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right. Anyway, anyone have anything else? Okay, so did you make a motion, Courtney?
Yes, I made a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
And then Steve seconded it?
Yes, sir.
Good. So we have a motion and a second. I'll go ahead and call the roll. Courtney?
Bird, aye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll, no.
Ronnie?
Coleman, no.
Dave?
Kent, aye.
Bill?
Duffy, aye.
And Robbins is an aye. So we have 5-2 vote in favor of issuing an order of conditions. All right. Next up is Laura M. McSweeney and William J. McDonough, 2 Lawrence Street, East Falmouth, Mass. Alyssa.
Yes, so this project was primarily to renovate an existing dwelling and add a second story. At that time, the engineer had noticed there were some unpermitted features on the property, so also brought those to our attention for mitigation. There were a couple things missing from the plan that were added over time in order to accommodate all the mitigation on the subject property. Part of the unpermitted structures are being removed, and I don't think there was anything left open-ended.
Question? I think it was pretty well wrapped up the last time I saw it, so. Great. Anyone willing to make a motion to issue an order?
Make a motion to issue an order of conditions like extensively discussed. Driscoll.
Bird, second.
Ron, support. Any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call a roll. Courtney?
Bird, aye.
Steve?
Pat and I.
Ron?
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie?
Coleman, aye.
Dave?
Kent, aye.
And Bill?
Duffy, aye.
And Robbins is an aye, unanimous to issue a order of conditions as discussed. Courtney, you're gonna have to take over for me on this one. I have a conflict on it.
Cliff Towers, yeah, okay. Next on the next order of conditions to be voted upon is Cliff Dwellers Association, 0 Nashon Circle, Falmouth, Mass. Let's see, I go to you, right, Alyssa?
Yes. So this project is to repair an existing stone groin. We will meet with the contractor beforehand for a pre-construction meeting. There is a time of year for horseshoe crabs in this area. Let me see. We are in need of a revised site plan just in terms of the dune on the property, and because this is that association property where they're going to be making access through the middle of it, where there's an existing area of clearing. And they're going to have to restore some of the dunes, so we need that revised site plan to calculate that square footage so we can help assist in the quantity of plantings to restore the area with. I believe all of our outstanding questions were answered. And yeah, I think that does it, unless Fallon, you had anything to add.
There was,
This one was pretty straightforward. I have nothing to add. Sorry.
there was an issue about the hydraulic fluid they're gonna use in the excavators and bulldozers and stuff, and it has to be a vegetable base.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay,
Make an
any,
order, move to make an order of conditions as extensively discussed, issue an order of conditions as extensively discussed. Driscoll.
okay,
Duffy second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions on the Cliff Dwellers Association. All right, I'm gonna call a roll. I'll start with, Dave Kent.
Kent, aye.
Okay, and Ron Driscoll
Driscoll, aye.
and Ron Bowman,
Bowman, aye.
Steve Patton,
Pat and I.
Bill Duffy,
Duffy, aye.
and Courtney Bird. I don't think I missed, did I miss anybody?
Oh,
Good,
oh, Courtney, good job.
all right.
Get
And
back
an
to
order
us.
of conditions has been issued, and we move on to orders of enforcement. And Russ Robbins, the chair is yours.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Joseph Mirasola, trustee Joseph Mirasola, Revocable Trust, 2018, 15 Moses Road, North Falmouth, Mass. This is I'm sorry, Alyssa.
That's okay, thank you. Yes, so this enforcement has been before you for a couple months now. The staff brought it to your attention after a site visit where we noticed that the previously approved open air / maybe sailcloth rinse station was fully enclosed with paneling. This is a velocity zone where that wasn't approved on the original plan, and the property had already maxed out the enclosed space that this commission wanted to see. There has been a proposal submitted to you with basically hanging the panels from hook and eye brackets. They would be installed seasonally. I understand the homeowner's position. It's windy over there. They are abutting a public parcel. The staff looks at this project where originally it was never meant to be an area that required privacy. It was never meant to be a shower. It was meant to be rinsing coming off of the beach. There are other properties in the area with rinse stations, but those have been in existence for many years. You know, this property was fully redeveloped in a velocity zone where every square foot and proposed piece of structure was taken into account during the permitting process. So the staff finds that the enclosement of the rinse station should be required to be removed and restored back to the original permitting. And should the commission require the rinse station to be removed or reconstructed, I would suggest by a date certain. Should the commission approve the proposal before you, there would need to be, a time of year, seasonal, where that could be utilized, obviously removed in the event of a major storm. And I don't know how that would be enforced, but I would say we should put it in the order. And that's about it.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, did you have anything?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, discussion.
I think, yeah, I think this is making the best solution, a slope purse out of a sow's ear, so to speak. And, as long as there's a finding in the order that this is a unique situation requiring a unique solution, so we're not establishing precedent, I'm okay with it. I think it has to be made very clear that this needs to be removed at the end of the season and stored in a safe place that won't become flotsam and jetsam in a storm. And also that it must be removed when they're there if there is a significant storm on the way. I don't know how you can enforce that, but obviously if they don't, we have the option of telling them they can't have it.
In court, when you say it's a unique situation, what type of findings should that include? What do you find unique about it?
Well,
This
that's a good
doesn't want to be
question.
a precedent.
No, I think one of the unique parts of it is it's a public exposure on three sides. There's a street, there's the little alley, the entrance into the beach, and then there's a walkway on the beach. So I don't think there's many other properties in Falmouth that would meet that. So that would make it pretty unique. 3 public exposures, if that's the proper term.
Yeah,
especially for a shower, you know.
Very good point.
yeah. The finding is to prevent overexposure.
Yes, Steve.
I'm going to continue to support the staff's position, so I don't think there should be any hard structure on this shower.
I see you got your hand up, Dave.
Yeah, what bothers me is it seems this whole thing is we were presented with a fait accompli. Something else was approved. This was done, and I mean we see this all the time, but this in particular one, it seems, I don't know. It was not supposed to be done. It was done, and it puts us in a tough spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems like a precedent to me, to be honest with you. To allow that.
So you're saying what, David? Are you saying we shouldn't approve it?
I think I'm going to vote no.
Billy.
Because I don't like being presented and forced, you know? I know it's like a mountain out of a mole. It's not a very big thing. So the tendency on our side is to say, let's not make it a mountain out of a molehill. In fact, I felt that way on this project for quite a while until Jen gave us some more history last week, you know? So I feel more now than I did before she spoke last week that this is intentional, and we were presented with a fait accompli that it was hoped that we would just let it slide. And I'm uncomfortable with that. Even though it's not a big deal, it's a small thing.
Thank you, Dave. Bill, did you have something? I know you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was sort of agreeing with Dave. I think this will set some precedent, and it wasn't supposed to.
I agree.
So I probably will not be agreeing with it. Understanding, you know, what we were doing and people trying to give the gentleman good advice, but it was never supposed to be a shower, and it turned out to be one. And I understand all the unique circumstances, but what we've seen on my limited time on this commission is all you need is one set of precedent, and every engineer is like, well, you did it here, and you're going to get that now for every red station that's planned that might not have been approved. So that's my comment for this.
Okay. Anyone else? Court, I see you.
Yeah, I understand, and I normally come down on your side on this,
Right.
and hold the line against precedent. I think this is really a unique situation, and David, I don't read that the guy kind of, you know, stuck it in our face and kind of drove us to it. I think he honestly tried to make the sailcloth work, and that exposure, I know that exposure, and it's very, very difficult. When you get a northwest wind coming across Buzzard Bay, that's the first thing it hits. And it winds up from Montreal and whacks you. And so, you know, I can see how a sailcloth, good try, but it's not going to work. And so he's coming up with a proposal of something more substantial. And I agree, normally I would hold the line with you and be on this, but I think in a situation like this, the finding is that such a unique situation, and the conditions there are so unique with three-sided exposure to the public or whatever, that, you know, it's worth making an exception. It's not setting a precedent, in my view. But that's me.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, somebody want to put a motion forward?
I'll make a motion and that's what we do normally on these things, whether there's controversy or not. I'll put forward a motion to approve the proposal as outlined in the application. That is to put the breakaway panels up
Bowman second.
with conditions.
Okay, so we have a motion by Courtney and a second by Ron Ballman. Anything else? Okay. We'll go ahead and call a roll. Courtney,
Bird eye.
Steve,
And no.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Dave,
Yeah, no.
Bill.
Duffy, no.
Okay, and Robbins is a yes. I'm an aye on this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3.
4-2.
A mo-
4-3.
a vote of 4 to 3.
4-3.
Closest vote I've ever seen.
Me too.
Is allowed to
5 years.
maintain the panels and make them detachable, though, right? That was what we're doing.
This is my first vote, contrary to court.
Good for you. You do that more often.
Okay, so that's it. Did you get that, Alyssa? It was
Yes.
okay.
What
Very
are we
good.
gonna put on for a time frame on that? It was like May to September? Does
June.
that sound reasonable? A
Yeah, I
timeline
mean,
on the
Memorial
typically-
Day to Labor Day.
Yeah.
I think we gotta
Well,
put something on.
I would go a little bit further than that. I would say October to May, because I mean, probably
October,
May to
October to
October.
May. No one's taking a shower down there.
with that.
May to October.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that usually, that's about the time they're going to shut it down and drain it anyway. So then the panel should come off. So, I mean, if you want to put Labor Day, that's fine. But
Okay.
however, but I would give them another month. How
We'll
about?
double check with them what their season is. We'll make it in that time frame.
All right.
Okay.
You're the best, Alyssa. All right. Anything else tonight? Because that's it.
That's a good
Oh,
job.
wow.
I just want to comment. I think this commission deliberated on that last one, and yes, it was a split vote. But I think you all are getting a handle on what your responsibilities are as commissioners, and it's good, because one of the hardest things to do as a commissioner is to turn around and say no to somebody. I mean, we're all volunteers, and we also live in the town, and so it's tough to make a hard decision. And I applaud the negative votes on that. That's my only comment, and I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's
I'll
a
second
second.
that.
Right.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Robbins, aye.
Bird eye. Pat and I.
Driscoll, aye.
Duffy, aye.
Hand tied.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.